Welcome to Holistic Wisdom Live. Today, I have a special guest for a brand new episode on 72 Names of God. And my guest today is Esther. I'm going to read a brief introduction. Esther is a Kabbalistic astrologer, created a new framework where she blends the Babylonian Sidereal school of astrology in depth with Kabbalistic knowledge of the Sefer Yezirah, the book of formation, Ari HaKadosh, the rules of incarnation, and Gilgul Neshamat, the power of Hebrew alphabet, informed by her 25 years of study, practice, with intuitive spiritual guidance and a holistic approach. Wow, welcome to today's episode. This is going to be so fascinating for my listeners, and I know we're going to touch upon topics that I'm sure many of them have not heard. There's going to be a lot of new language, so I can't wait to dive into all of it together with you. Thank you.
So much. Thank you. I'm very excited as well, and I really appreciate the opportunity and time. And it's a big merit for me to have opportunity to be with your community, your beautiful community. Every time when I start to follow your work and to see the beautiful people, the comments they make and how much they're really empowering themselves, how much they want to change. It's really, really, it's make the heart so happy when you see, because the collective consciousness it's a huge power. When you work with people who really wants to get into the one goal, to change, to bring peace to this world, to understand why they're here. So for me, it's definitely a big merit to be part of it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. And I want for listeners to also know why I thought of, actually, you and I talked about why we wanted to create this episode. My mom 6 years ago passed away. And one of the things she left for me was the book, which is 72 Names of God. I remember she would open it and scan it. So when she left it for me, I had no idea what I'm supposed to do with it. I would open it, I would look at it, that's all I would do. And then I said to Esther, can we just talk about this so I know really what this is about? And you said, yeah, let's create an episode because this is so powerful. The other thing I wanted to say that I know in every spiritual tradition around the world, because I've looked into different traditions, what I find fascinating, for example, and not to deviate from today's episode, but in Sufism, I know they have 99 names of God, which I thought numerologically equals to 9. 99 is 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. In Hinduism, it's 108, which also equals to 9. And in the Kabbalistic tradition, it is 72, which also equals to 9. So I cannot wait to dive into all of this with you.
9 is really powerful. It's really powerful because 9, it's a 3, 3, 6, and 9. The whole world is actually the molecular system created with that, for sure. Absolutely. 72 names of God, because we do have different audience, and some of them it's really new to the topics. I always love to understand the seed, where it's coming from as well. It's really important because what is the 72 names of God? I do want to share I have a really few cool things created specially for us today. And I just wanted to share, and then I'm going to explain it a bit more so people understand what we're talking about, right? First of all, just to begin with, the 72 names of God built from Hebrew alphabet, Hebrew and Aramaic alphabet. And you can see behind me, I have a blue book. This is the Sefer Yezirah, Book of Formation, as well. The second name is Book of Creation. This book was given to Abraham by Creator directly. And this book considered, according to Kabbalistic Knowledge, the main book of astrology and the secrets of creation, all the planets, everything, how was it created. And according to Book of Creation, a Hebrew alphabet was used as a DNA to create everything in our universe. Our souls, every planet has our own Hebrew alphabet, which create with. So I'm going to because it's our first episode, I'm going to start with kind of to, not to overwhelm the audience, just for us to show. Beautiful. Just let me know if you can see it, right? You can see it?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let me just go
And just for people who have been a part of our community, you know, a year and a half to 2 years ago, we did an episode on Hebrew alphabet, Esther, and I don't think I've ever shared that episode with you. And there's very specific vibrational signatures of absolutely every letter. And I can share, for example, from our system, the first and the last letter are the highest vibrational frequency letters. So it's sort of like the beginning and the ending represent the beginning and the completion of the system. And then there's all these other vibrations within. So I'm so curious, of course, to know it from the Kabbalistic perspective, but absolutely these letters represent vibration, information, and creation.
Beautiful. So I'm going to use the knowledge. First of all, I will tell you where the knowledge coming from. Of course, the Kabbalists through the century always taught people our thought create reality. It's not just not enough to know, and it's not enough just to observe things. It's really important to open our heart and our mind and to inject the consciousness, right? Because consciousness is everything, because we are walking energy. It's all about energy. Many times we enter a room, it doesn't matter, how a room looks like, but it's really important what energy is in the room, how people, just lately spoke in this room, what was the behavior. We all feel this energy, especially those of us who really work with energy. And it's even when you're in the beginning of your spiritual journey, one of the reasons you start to connect to spirituality, because you felt something missing, because it's all about energy. Now, what I want to share with you here, this is the actually nutshell, the 72 names. Now, the 72 names built by combination of 3 letters. And in Hebrew alphabet, altogether, we have 22 letters. And each of 72 names, it's called name of God. It sounds very kind of bombastic. You will think, wow, name of God, right? But I will explain why it's actually considered names of God. The combination, you can look at it as an atom, right? Atom built of 3 particles. It's neutron, electron. Just to help me out.
Electron, yes. But there's actually now the even smaller particle, right?
Yes, and the fourth one, the fourth one behind. It's actually Kabbalistically explained as well. So it's all about 3 column energy, right, left, and center column energy. This is what really creates something more complete. Now, all the 72 names of God, and very interesting, by the way, 72 numerology in Hebrew, we have a word called chesed. Chesed, it's mercy. Now, if you know tree of life reality, I don't think I have here, but if people know and left, right column energy, the desire to share in tree of life reality called chesed. And numerology of the word chesed is actually 72. Which is everything connected. Now, what we need to understand here as well, each of this particle, it's actually not just 72 names of God, it's the angel attached to each of the name, and he holds certain particular energy. And I'm going to show you after couple, because each of them have tremendous energy. And one of the reasons it's actually important when people, especially people who are interested in Kabbalistic knowledge, who study Kabbalah, it doesn't matter where you came from, but to learn Hebrew alphabet, it's essential, because through the Hebrew alphabet, our eyes is the window to our soul. And this is how every time when we read certain information, it can be just letters, but if information is powerful, it's activate the wisdom in our mind. Now, with Hebrew alphabet, you don't even need to know in the essence to get energy, because just observe and look at it, you already getting a lot of energy, because your eyes understand and know this information through your soul. It's really, really powerful. Again, because it's just the beginning, I'm gonna this first video, I want us just to have kind of general introduction, because there's so many secrets behind. It's I promise you, you guys it's gonna really, really excite you, and will show you what is really tools, how powerful the tools when you really start to learn and connect to. Now, another thing I want to share with you, the 72 names of God, when it was given to us, it's always, remember, we need to always to connect to the seed, to the moment, because every revelation of something, for example, was revelation of Torah, when we're receiving the Old Testimony in Mount Sinai, there was a specifically cosmic energy was opening in order for us, we will be able to receive such a tremendous energy like a Torah, like an Old Testimony Bible. I just want to remind to all of us, Bible, we call Torah, Old Testimony, it's not just any other book, it's really life organism. And there's all the rules of creation, all the secrets there. And because it's coded, and it many times has been abused and wrongly used by many religions in order to control people. Therefore, Kabbalist always says to the century, eventually there will be no religious, will be only spirituality, because it's not enough just to know. And if you're using knowledge and abusing just to control people or to be superior, this knowledge starts to go against the universe. And therefore, it's not going to work. This is why Kabbalists teach all of us through the century what's really important to really activate the energy within us of the Creator, the energy who we really are, why we came. Each of us have our own mission. It's really, really important to remember. Now, what's really fascinating about the moment when we receive 72 names of God, I'm just going to quickly give this story because it's really important. This is a very, very important moment and secret in order for us to appreciate even more the knowledge and the information I want to share with us. So my hope, and I pray for, then this information will be transformed to the wisdom, which can improve our lives and can really, each of us can help us even more to reach to the truth, to really liberation of our souls, because it's really important to understand how free we are in our essence. It's like when you look in the sky, you can see all the stars, everything free, but everything has its own place. So at the same time, everything organized. Now, the way how we receive 72 names of God, we're talking about the tribes of Israelite. I just want to mention, I don't use the word Jewish because it's been so in as well, in not just corrupted, misused, wrongly, because the Jewish is just one tribe, which is tribe of Judah, but we have another 11 tribes, which is 12 tribes. And many people right now, according to Kabbalah, they have a desire to understand the creation. They have a desire, especially if you have a desire for Kabbalistic knowledge, for the Torah, you want to understand the tree of life reality, you want to understand what is really mind over matter. This is potentially souls have Israelite energy inside of them. This is what Kabbalah says. So this is why it's really important. It's not exclusive to any Jewish people. It's actually open to humanity, and it's much bigger. And when it's going to be final redemption, we call Mashiach, Messiah, all the doors will be open. We will see everything. But what's really important right now, when it's everything still concealed, for us to connect to the essence. So the moment we receive 72 names of God, we needed to go over 400 years of slavery in Egypt. And again, we're not talking about literal slavery as a physical, there was a physical slavery as well. We're talking about the slavery, desire to receive for the self alone, desire to connect to the small picture, desire not to understand the much bigger picture, to be souls, to say, focus with your own pain and with your own reality. And when the time came, and it's really, it's so many movies made, and there's a lot of probably of your students know the story about the Moses, how he started to come to Pharaoh and start to ask Pharaoh, let my people go. And after 10 plagues, finally, after the firstborn start to die, and again, there's everything coded. It's a lot of, we have books after books of ancients, Tzaddikim righteous wrote so many books about it. It's everything, it's not that obvious, but I'm going to simplify it for us. So when the last time Moses came to Pharaoh after the last 10th plague, and Pharaoh decided, that's it, there's nothing for me to hold. So much destruction happened, I need to let them go. And he said, okay, I will let you people go. And when he suddenly changed his mind, the Israelites, let me remind you, not just Israelites, there was Egyptians as well. They decided to leave Egypt because they saw the power and wonder of the one creator, not many gods, because Egyptians, they really believe in many gods. I'm not going to right now touch up on Egypt, what Kabbalah is saying, there's a lot of energy about Egypt, because Egypt, even though there's a lot of darkness was in Egypt, but there's a reason why so many revelation and so much light was revealed in darkness. You understand? This is why it's really important, because it's light, it's concealed in more dark place, but when it's revealed, is the most bright than anywhere else. This is why it says when you have a difficult child, it's still concealed. There's so much light there, because when he's intense, he has a lot of energy, a lot of desires, there's a lot of work with this child. You understand? So it's the same thing with us. So when Pharaoh finally let Israelites go, Israelites, all of us, was standing in front of the Red Sea. And we see then he changed his mind, and all the soldiers with the trolleys, with the huge horses running after Israelites in order to catch them and took them back. And Moses with his brother Aaron Kohen, he was the high priest, was standing in front of the Red Sea and standing and thinking what to do, because at this moment we have a sea in front of us, we have a Pharaoh running, there's no way to return, we're going to be or killed or again put in slavery, most likely even killed or some left in slavery, and there's no place to go. And Moses start to tell people, we've been given 72 names of God, let's start to use. And people start to cry and start to scream, we're going to die here where you brought us. They suddenly forgot about they only was actually thinking about the life and not about freedom anymore. And then it says, then Creator spoke to them and said, why are you screaming to me? Use the tools was given to you. At that moment, one of the young boys start to go inside of the water, and it says his mouth already get the water get in the middle of his mouth, which is he couldn't even pronounce anymore. And then Moses with other righteous people standing beside him, and he ordered to everyone to be super focused, start to use the tools, and suddenly the Red Sea open up, and the pathway was created in order to go inside. Now, I'm going to, for now, just to stop with the story, because there's a lot of secrets behind what really in our daily life right now, how we can take this for ourselves. Many times we're going through so many difficulties. Sometimes we sit and we talk to ourselves, said, I don't know where to go anymore. I don't know how to move on, how to continue. Looking back, there's no way to come back. I cannot live the way how I used to. I cannot work where I used to work. It's not make me happy, or I cannot live this lifestyle, it's make me sick. Whatever, each of us can connect to different way. Well, we only need to look in front and say to ourselves, okay, what tools do I have? What Creator really gave it to me? Because I'm the Creator, I'm a working God here. Our heart has a spark DNA, according to Kabbalistic Knowledge and Book of Creation. We have a spark of Creator inside of our heart on a physical level. So the 72 names God for us was given to us in order for us to use as a tool, in order to go the mind over matter, to call the miracle beyond what obvious to us. You understand? So this is why it's very important for us, and there's so much tools was given to us. It's really important for us on a daily life to study and to connect, not only when we're going through the hard time and suddenly we start to pray, suddenly we start to, of course, there's a reason for it as well, because through the pain and suffering, many times, this is how we can reveal the light. But those of us who already understand and appreciate the light of Creator, we don't need to wait for the moment of disaster. We need to practice on a daily life. And 72 names, it's one of the most powerful tools, according to Torah and according to the ancients in Kabbalistic knowledge, was given to us by Creator. And 72 names of God actually came from different dimensions. It's not the first earth. I hope I can speak this language in your channel. I can explain. This is not the first time we create the earth. And it says, when the Torah came to Creator and spoke to the Creator, this is what it says in Talmud. And Torah says, why do you need to create Adam, Bnei Adam, the human? He's going to sin. He's going to create many mistakes. He's going to create disasters. We don't need, we have angels, we have everything in order to have a beautiful universe. And Creator answered to Torah. Before the sin can, even whatever sin it's mean, in Kabbalistic word, there's no such a thing. Sin is the something that need to be improved and transformed. So Creator says, before the fall, the transformation already been created. So it's really important for us to remember. So the healing was before the illness. The healing was always before the illness. Illness is just the darkness, which is complete, is just the lack, need to be filled with the light. So what's really important, I mentioned 12 tribes. Now, I'm going to show you something really super cool as well. This is the DNA of the soul, the 22 names of God. Now, what's really important for us to see here, we have in the 72 names of God, one letter is only one letter from Hebrew alphabet not used. Only 21 letters was used in Hebrew alphabet. The one letter wasn't used is letter Gimel. The reason the letter Gimel not used, because it's represented in Hebrew word name Gava, pride. Pride, according to creation, it's one of the worst klipot. Klipa is the negative shelf, negative energetical force within us, which does not allow us to activate the Creator within us. Therefore, the letter Gimel wasn't used in the creation of 72 names because no pride can be inside when the light is. So another thing what Kabbalists teach us, in order for us fully start to use the energy of 72 names, we need to recognize first what is the pride, on what level we have a pride inside of us. What really we, what we really feel then we're better than others, then we know better than others, or we see better. With this energy, we cannot use the power of 72 names, you understand? But even by recognizing, by saying, we already can start the process, because it's the worst thing when it's double concealment. When you don't know, then you don't know. This is when we stuck, and this is when the illnesses start, and this is when the light of Creator cannot come inside and show us bigger picture. And what really, really important as well, you see Hebrew alphabet, it's very powerful, and Aramaic and Hebrew is the same letters. In Hebrew alphabet, it's called Ivrit. I will hear Ivrit, la'avor. So it's mean to pass on. You know how from your childhood, almost every language we have a use for magic, we use abracadabra, right?
Mm-hmm.
People know abracadabra, it's Hebrew word, Aramaic. Abra, lavir, to pass, to create new world. Okay, so this is actually in Hebrew, abracadabra. So this is why ancients, when they use abracadabra, they saw how the atoms work, because by just pronouncing Hebrew alphabet, you creating atom energy around you. And tzaddikim, righteous people, could create human, which is with different consciousness. They could create any animal. They could create any table, anything. This is how powerful we are. Everything what we see inside of around us, it's all atoms. And the righteous souls who really, really in a high consciousness, they don't even feel hard material. They're going through the walls and windows because they see how the movement of molecules. We so much stuck in our reality, in the desire to receive for self alone. Each of us on our own level. This is why we're here to work on ourselves. Otherwise, we'll be with angels, we'll be in upper level. So I'm not here to put anyone down. No, we all have work to do. But it's really beautiful thing for us to remember the tools was given to us. What Creator said to Torah, before anything, I already create solution. We have everything. And one of the, I'm going to mention Zohar as well. It's a book of splendor. One of the most powerful books was ever given to humanity. There's nothing but it was most powerful after Torah than book of Zohar. It's, even Pope in Rome, in his bedroom, he has all sets of book of Zohar. It's actually, he studied Zohar in Aramaic. Every high priest in the world must study Zohar, because Zohar contains all the secrets of creation. Maybe God willing, one day we can even do some segments as well about Zohar. It's It's super fascinating.
Yes.
It's a lot of protection as well, especially we're talking about the days, which is now connecting to the Zohar. Another cool thing I want to show you right now, yes, I just mentioned letter Gimel, which is pride, which is connect to the pride. So just for us to understand the power of certain things we have inside of us, which is keeping us from the real light of Creator within us to connect. I will give you an example. Let's say we are in a, because I really love, to give practical examples. It's really important because especially with women, we're all about practical. Our spirituality needs to be practical, everything, because it's not just about to meditate and to speak nicely. No, when you and I, we finish this conversation, we need to exit right now to the world and interact with other people who actually not part of the spirituality we think. They actually really the messengers for us how to take to ourselves to the next level, because it's always easy to be just with nice people, have nice conversation, yes, but the reality is we need to be strong enough and connect to big picture when we interact with each other. So the pride, it's such a hitting, it's the Satan, the other side, which is came here to serve us, if you think about it, because without them to challenge us, we cannot reveal light. This is one of his favorite energy to use. So for example, you have situation with someone, and you've been asked, for example, attend event or to be part of something, and in the end, you were not given to speak, or nobody really care about your opinion. And this is when really you can lose the light inside. You're going to start to feel withdrawal. You start to feel, okay, nobody cares about what I have to say, or nobody cares for my opinion. But this is when we're losing the light. This is actually the opportunity for us to say, what is the opportunity for me to hold my silence, to keep the energy for the right moment, and to hear what other people have to say, and how much you can learn from other people. How much actually, if I wouldn't just be quiet and hear, I would miss maybe some very important messages for myself, you understand? So in going on, and so many things. So it's really, there's a two major klipot, negative shelves, according to Kabbalistic knowledge, if I may, which is connected to astrology as well. We came to really overcome. It's one, it's actually the pride, and the second one, it's uncertainty. It's one of the, when you're not certain, it's mean you're in a foggy environment. It's like when you drive in car and there's no clarity, no clear word. It's one of the worst things. You drive, you have no idea where you drive. And in Hebrew, the word it's safek, when you're not certain. And the same numerology, Amalek. Amalek is the one of the main, when we went through Egypt, we needed to fight with one of the tribes of the other side. It's called Amalek. And they came to inject Israelite souls so they won't believe in light of Creator, to inject the uncertainty. This is another thing for us to remember, because when we doubt light of Creator, it's much harder. I know it's especially when you're in dark situation, when you feel lost. And I meet people with a lot of knowledge. They're going through a lot of tough times, especially if you study a lot, especially if you receive a lot of knowledge. The other side more interested in you than someone who's in darkness. So this is why a person who came to this world to potentially revealer of light, he can be challenged even more. We need to understand that. We need to appreciate who we are in order not to put ourselves down, not to inject ourselves with uncertainty, not to put ourselves in darkness. I say no, because I know I can reveal so much light. This situation, this resistance, this is opportunity for me in order for me to grow to next level. We all need to take time. We all need to be very nourished to each other. And we need to understand it's really important to love yourself. Not just any word, love yourself, like really to have conversation with yourself, with your higher self. On a daily basis, to say, to compliment yourself. You know what? Yes, perhaps I shouldn't speak this way, but I recognize that right now. Let me remember this moment. So perhaps when I'm going to get in a similar, this is another very, very important conversation we have to get. But the 17 names of God, it's most amazing tools. So what's really, really interesting as well, I want to show you, the 72 is the numerology of two letters called Ayin Bet, which is, this is in short, we call 72 names. In Hebrew, we call Ayin Bet Shemot. Shemot, it's names. Ayin Bet, we're using not 72, we're using letters instead. In Hebrew, for example, if you open any ancient book, Talmud, or different Sefer, you don't see numbers, you see letters. We're using letters as in numbers. You understand? Because there's tremendous power in it, in the book. So this is why. Now, what's really interesting, Ayin Bet represent Capricorn. Very interesting, because Bet creates Saturn. Saturn created by Bet. And first letter of Torah, it's Bet. It's interesting, right? It's how everything connected. And Bet is connected to bracha, to blessings. Bereshit, beginning, everything. And Ayin, it's actually, so Capricorn took this energy of the splitting of the Red Sea. It's actually in the months of Capricorn, it's happened, this tremendous energy. Because initially it says the Mashiach, the Messiah, is supposed to be not an age of Aquarius, it's supposed to be an age of Capricorn. But because of Capricorn decide to have so much desire to receive for the self alone, the merit was given to Aquarius. By the way, a lot of people don't know that, but it's Kabbalistic knowledge. Another thing I want to explain to you, sweetie, what's really important, people who a little bit study Torah, they know we have a very tremendous portion, Torah portion. It's the weekly, we read and study Torah. Every week we have, it's called when we're splitting the Red Sea. And each first letter of 72 names God, it represent a special saying. And it's here, for example, it says, and came angels of God, and the angels of God brought to Israel the merit, and it's a lot of secrets. So 72 names, beside it's actually portal of each combination of certain specific energetical force, it's actually the secret of the text of how the Red Sea was splitting as well. Very important. And again, we have to remember it's a right column energy, a left column energy, and its center. This is what makes completion. Another thing I just want to, kind of to bring to us, what is really three column energy? Everything what we do in this world, we always, in order to feel balance and fulfill, it's to accomplish to the three column energy. It's even when coupled together, right? When 1 + 1, it's not 2, it's 3. Because when couple come together, they create in the third identity, is like a third world, in order for them to be complete. So this is really important. And how the electrical lamp works, we have minus, we have a plus, and then we have a filament, the third identity. In order for filament to reveal, to create the light, the both left and right column energy needs to be in total balance. One of the another main reason we use 72 names of God is to feel more balance and to achieve. And I'm going to show you.
Can I say something also? I actually read something the other day that the reason that it's read from right to left, it has to do with going towards the heart, where some of the other cultures, let's say in the West, are reading from left to right, which is away from the heart. So there's also something to do with the heart connection. And the other thing that I read, which tell me if I'm wrong, it's really not 72 names of God, but it's codes that activate and amplify, their amplification, vibrational amplification codes, because God doesn't have a name. Am I correct?
So this is the names, the 72 names of God is the reason it's been called as the 72 names of God, because it's the portals of the God given to us in order for us to activate the energy of God within us. We have these are 4 major names of God we have in our prayers. Maybe one day we can do about that, but I want to show you something. It's really interesting what you just said, because this, for example, showing us then we need to read from right to left. Now, remember I told you 72, it's a numerology of Chesed. Chesed is the right column energy. And this is what tribes of Israelite, they connect to the left, to the right column energy. They connect to the Chesed, to the mercy. The tribe of Esau and Ishmael, which came from the Abraham mate who gave birth, Abraham has a wife, Sarah, who gave birth to Yitzhak, who represent left column energy. But Abraham as our main father patriarch, the energy of Abraham, it's represent right column energy. So this is why we're starting from chesed, from mercy. We want to connect to the right column energy and then going to the left in order to balance everything. So it's really powerful. But interesting, I just wanted to show the code. So we have, and then we read, another way we read to connect to next chapter in Torah, we read from down, from the left to right, and then we connect to another explanation of the event, what's happened when we receive 72 names. We need to understand, it's really, really important always to come back to the seed. What's really happened in the moment we receive 72 names of God? We were not in comfort zone. We were between life and death. And this is when, you know, they say the diamond can create when it's a lot of pressure. So this information was exist before the earth was created, and was actually already been used by high souls like Moses, like Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. All of the righteous souls were using, but people who was in slavery, who was so much into the pain, they couldn't even open the eyes and see how much power they have. Only when we're standing in front with everything falling, we know there's no place to go and here only to die. Finally, we activate the power within us. So Creator tells us, don't wait for this moment. Don't wait for the moment when everything falling. Start to activate everything in order for you not to find yourself inside a disaster. Because the whole creation wasn't created for us to suffer. Everything was created for us to really live fulfilled life. But it's up to us what energy we want to connect. It's really important lesson for us. Just really, really remember. And then we have another one. I'm going to show you here. One thing I want to mention is connect to Hebrew alphabet as well. You remember I told you the bet, which is create Saturn, and the bet, which is create the first letter of Torah. It's actually created by 3 letters Vav. You see the 3 letters Vav? This is how the bet was created. The reason I brought this out, because 3 Vavs from 72 names of God and the 3 columns, it start everything really connected. I'm not gonna right now, this is this is really important, because I have a course which is called 72 Names of God. So I took some really only important moments. This is Mem He Shin. It's taken from 72 Names of God. I'm going to show you, your audience can make a screenshot. This is considered one of the most powerful names was given to us for healing, for the purpose of healing. And there's a lot of secrets in the Mem He Shin. First of all, this is the same letters, actually name of Moses, Moishe. So this is the same absolutely. Plus we're using the every day. If, for example, you know anyone needs healing, I personally know a few really amazing doctors, neuro doctors, the heart doctors who study Kabbalistic knowledge for many, many years. Every time when they enter to surgery room, first they do meditation on 70 names, then they take with themselves the Mem He Shin. My amazing teacher who's not longer with us in this dimension, in the obvious reality, Rav Burke, he's the one who really explained to us in the details, taught us how really to use the 70 names in order for us to activate the essence and the DNA of the energy, why they put together. So this is really important. And just by closing your eyes, I'm going to give you just tips how really meditate on 70 names of God. For example, this one, it's Mem He Shin. We can close our eyes and we can imagine them in the golden energy. They're coming from above, from the sky. It's coming directly to the Keter, to our scalp. It's entering first to the right column energy of our right brain, then it's going to the left. Then it's going through around our scalp and it's going to our third eye. It's checking this any shadow, any darkness, anything not aligned with the creation. And then you're pushing them down, 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 down. You don't miss any part of your body. And then you can resonate, stop in the middle of your stomach with the gut feeling. Mem He Shin need to stay there and to create a lot of environment and good energy, and then go down until your feet. And as soon as it arrives to the feet, it's waiting for the green energy, which is coming from the middle of the earth. And it's Mem Hishin with the green color. And then they're going together, the golden and green color, they match together again, meet together inside of the stomach. They activating the energy of the gut feeling, because most important energy, the gut feeling, not our brain, our gut feeling, which is need to go through the heart and only then to the brain. Very important. This is why it's very important to keep gut in very healthy condition, because this is not just intuition, it's your another tool you need to use. And this is why it's important to keep our body in tune, healthy, balance, extremely important. So this is really, really powerful. We have eventually, you can see, we have here Moses, Mem Hishin. This is where you can find the in 72 names of God, the combination of healing. And this is Hillel. Hillel, Lamet, Lamet, Hey. Hillel it's another name. It's of the one of the highest prophet in healers. And there's a lot of secret here as well, because we have each name connect to so many particles. For example, we have Samech Haliv Hey, this one. It's connecting to the soulmate. It's each of us, even when you're already with someone, if you feel you really need extra energy, and you need to have, for example, conversation with your partner, and you ask for extra support, you close your eyes, you do meditation, connect with Shin Samech Alef Lahei, and you ask, please be with me when I'm going to open my mouth. Let my mouth just to bring goodness and wonders. Let the soul who want to listen to me to hear the only what I really came the message, and not any mismessage, because many times we're trying to pass information, but we're not necessarily getting the results. And this is another tools we can use in order for us to be more successful. I'm not gonna, okay, one thing I just want to show you here as well. This is, again, this is Hebrew alphabet we're talking about. And we're talking about the angels. As well, in Sefer Yezirah, in Book of Formation, it says the 72 name has an angel who is responsible of each of the name. Because don't forget, each of us born with our own angels. We have our initial angel we're born with. It's called in Hebrew Mochin. It's come from the word Moch, wisdom, our brain. He's our personal guide. He'd been with us the moment we were in the stomach with a mommy, and we were a study wisdom. And when we're coming out, it says then he has a permission to take one of the fingers and put over here. You saw how we have here special thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like so this says in the Sefer Yezirah, in our old books, he put this finger in order for us to forget everything what we know, everything what we study, in order for us to gain the merit again, the what we already knew in this dimension, to earn again the light and to create new dimensions. This is why we came here as well. So one thing I want to mention to you as well, one of the first names as well we have, it's we have Vav. This is letter. We have Aleph. It's very powerful letters, and Vav. All together, they come into numerology 13. And 13 in Hebrew, it's love, ahava, achat, unity, oneness. Very important. You see how powerful it is. It's really, really powerful. And by the way, in the Kabbalistic Astrology, we do have 372 names, which is directly connect to certain sign. And when I work with clients who know 72 names, who study Kabbalah, I always give them additional homework in order for them to work with their particular 72 names. But today I give some present for you, for your audience. I'm going to show you something amazing, which is each of us can find specifically for your own chart. Then it's specifically created for you, in order for you to use. But something I really want, another thing I want to show you something. Just kind of as a power of Hebrew alphabet in numerology as well. You see, this is called Samech Alef Lamed. This is the angel responsible for sustenance. A lot of people want, to have energy and to get support for sustenance, especially, because it's connected to the money, it's connected to abundance. But sustenance is not just physical money. Sustenance is sustenance for emotional being, sustenance of our health. It's all connected to sustenance as well. It's all connected. So this particular name It's a specific name was given to us in order for us to connect to our sustenance. Many times people want something because they can see somebody else have, or we live in society, we have really misleading information what we really need and how much we need. But in order for us to be happy and who we are, we don't need to have, because somebody else have. We want to have what is ours. And this is the 72 names of God can tremendously help us to connect to what we came to receive, what really will make us happy. What is my mission? Because especially, because right now we have a Saturn in Aquarius for the next 2 years, he will do everything in his power to help us and direct us to leave those jobs which is not make us happy anymore, to start to use our talents, to start to use our, to our divine inspiration and everything. This is how society will benefit and we will benefit from it. So this is very powerful. And why I wanted to show you something, the numerology of Samech Aleph Lamed, it's 92. Then in Nada, this is the name we say every time when we do special prayer after food, we're saying, Potech et yadecha, open your hands. We have a prayer, which is we do after food. It's called Birkat Hamazon. And we open our hands and we say, Potech et yadecha, open your hands. And the reason, because on a physical level, we need to do certain things to manifest. And then we say, Samech Aleph Lamed, Potech et yadecha. And what's interesting, the first letter of the sentence, open your hands, it's actually numerology 91. And then what else numerology 91? You see, this is the combination of the word in Hebrew, or combination of three of Yud, K, Vav, K, right? It's the one of the highest name of God. And then Atunai. I'm not going to pronounce correctly because when it's not in prayer, we're not supposed to pronounce. And then we have another name of God. Aleph, Dalet, Nun, and Yud. Both two names of God together, which is numerology Amen, and it's 91. You understand how powerful it is? So 91, numerology 91 is the two names of God. It's word Amen, plus open your hands, and plus the name of God, which is same numerology. It's really, really powerful as well. And this is just small spark of that. Now,
so that to go back, just to clarify, so all of that was just to show also that in order to I guess when we want abundance and sustenance, it's about opening to receive. Is that correct? So that was about receiving, that 91.
Yes, it's about receiving, and the same sustenance and the same, what is the sustenance? It's not just material. Sustenance is to feel fulfilled in general. And we have to know as well, one of the main tools in spirituality is donation. Without giving, you cannot receive. This is the only when the life happening, because the still water, it's that water. The vessel can only receive so much, but if vessel not to share, whatever is there, it's nobody going to benefit. So whatever really rules of creation, and actually in many religions and many spirituality, but I'm talking about essence, because really Kabbalistic knowledge was here before even human was brought to this dimension, because it's the law of creation, and the 10%, it's not belongs to us. There's a lot of secrets about donation, about how to donate. We have a special 72 names of God. We do special meditation before we do donation, because you don't just want to give your money anywhere. You want to give your money, and this money can reveal the light, because the money is the raw energy. The money can go to drugs, to kill somebody, God forbid, or money can go to the knowledge, to elevate someone, to make someone better in this society, right? So this is why it's really important. We don't just donate. When Kabbalists donate, it's a special process. You donate to the person, organization you trust. You do special meditation, and you touch the angel. I'm going to show you after in 72 names. We have a special angel which is we use for donation. He's like a portal in order for us to come with a special vessel. It's really powerful, really, really powerful. Do you have any other question for me at this point?
No, I'm just thinking there's so many rules of how to live life. I don't know how,
It's actually it's not really that hard. It's only rules seems right now, only because of but it's all about your desire. I'm going to give you another explanation. When you go into when you 7 or 6 years old, you're going to high school, or you're going to school. You start to learn alphabet in order for you to learn how to read. This is like a small step. Then after you learn how to read, you start to make a choices. What do I read? Then another one, what from I read make me? So this is how in spirituality, this is for such a small, we hear every day, we're so big, we're so huge, we don't even know how big we are. We create universes every time when we speak. This is how powerful we are. When whatever comes from our mouth, whatever the energy never disappear. So every time when we wake up in the morning, I said, what can I study today? How can I take myself to the next level in order for me to come closer to who I am, to my real essence? And again, our own soul will speak to us. It's whatever seems overwhelmed. It's almost like, we live in a reality. It's like Olympics. When you come into Olympics, you don't want to look at someone who behind you. You really want to see, of course, if somebody falling, you want to feel it, but you want to see who's in front, how much they prepare themselves. So this is the Olympics. This is, yeah. So I came to a really, really cool point for you guys. You see, this is, we have 72 names connect to 12 tribes. Now, the 12 tribes, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's really, really important point I want to make, because as a Kabbalah is teaching us, we have to be careful what kind of separation we can create between people. There's no exclusivity of this knowledge to, for example, Jewish people, Judaism. It's been in a way misleading. Of course, you do need certain knowledge in order for you to benefit and, to use this just for the goodness. Because if someone come with a lot of darkness, the light never they won't be able to use this against, but they're not going to benefit and to create light. So what important for us to understand, when these 72 names was given to us at the time of the splitting of the Red Sea, there was 12 tribes standing there, and the Red Sea was split in the 12 portals. It's really important for us to understand that, because there's so many people connect to this tremendous energy, and so many souls know this. They just didn't have a chance yet to come across. But I'm sure a lot of people who listen to this video, just by scanning, they start to suddenly recognize in the soul this is something speak to them more than just obvious printing letters. Now, what Talmud and Sefer Yezirah explain to us? You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is connect to the tribe, the first tribe, and we're going to call this tribe Aries, the sign of Aries. What is the 12 tribes? It's the 12 signs of zodiac as well. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Each tribe connect to certain sign of zodiac. So the first was the tribe of Aries, and Vav He Vav, it's actually connect to the open any doors. And what is the Aries? Unlimited, to open any door. It's the head, it's the foundation. Beautiful sign. And this is the 6 names was given to a sign of Aries. Now let's say in your chart you have we have sun, which represent our soul, our active, then we have moon, represent our insight, our emotional body, our motherhood, and then we have rising, ascendant, what the moment of our birth, when the horizon, when our soul was coming from the east of the horizon. Those 3 very important. You need to check your chart and see what you have in your chart in Aries. Maybe you don't have nothing. So we were going to wait. But if you have any, but you still have an Aries inside of us, Aries extremely important sign, extremely. It's sign connect to Passover, is the sign connect to the splitting of the Red Sea, because it's happened during the Passover. Very important. So this combination, if you know you have important areas, or you have a challenging aspect in your chart in areas, these names should be your daily tools to meditate and connect to it. It's really important. What else we can do? We're going to leave a link. I'm going to send you a link. You can actually purchase, I think it's only $12 or $11 up from kabbalah.com. And you can have on your iPhone all the 72 names I've got with full explanation of each name. So if you don't mind, I can send you this link so people
That would
can
be great. We can post it under
Yes,
the video.
absolutely, absolutely. So let me just, I'm going to show you and also on. So now we're talking
Question,
about-
these,
Yes.
by the way, the signs you're talking about for people when they're checking, it's important to know this is sidereal Babylonian astrology or tropical.
Yes, yes, yes. It's a sidereal, and it's sidereal is same as the Vedic. Indian astrology have same calculation as sidereal. It's called direct sky. And Western astrology, it's a beautiful astrology, but it's psychology more. It's astrology deals with the seasons. It's not deal directly with the sky. I deal only directly with the sky, which is exactly the moment when you're born. What was the combination happening? Yes, and because we're already almost 23-degree behind because the Earth stopped every 72 years, every 72 years, 72. Earth stop, we have a stopper, and this is how we already lost almost 23-degree in the zodiac plane. So now we look at the Taurus. So this is the names combination connect to the sign of Taurus. So you check if you have rising, moon, sun, or perhaps Venus. Maybe you have a debilitated Venus. You can ask of this combination, which was given to the sign of Taurus. This is the DNA of almost like a portals of this each sign in order for us to activate the energy in order to help us with a certain challenging each sign provide, because each of us, we all have 12 signs within us. And what is the number 13? It says, it's a beautiful thing, by the way, it says in the Sefer Yezirah, when we finish the process, when we find who we are, and we understand who we are, and we already taken the responsibility of all 12 signs inside of our sign, we become 13. And what is the 13? One in Hebrew, echad, unity, oneness, and ahava. It's really powerful. We need to understand one thing I want to mention, and I think it's really good news for all of us. We live in a time when we no longer need to wait to finish our correction and then to die. No, we live in a time when we finish our assignment this lifetime with our family, with our ancestral lineages. Now, finish with that. And there's so many tools and start new page completely. It's almost like a reborn again. It's the most powerful thing. It's like we need to use this. This is the opportunity never given to humanity like now. It's like even physically we feel different. They almost like the cosmos doing operation on us in order for us to be prepared for completely different reality, where mind over matter are going to be in such an obvious way, then those of us who's not prepared are going to have a hard time. But those of us who start this process, we're only going to have better and bigger, and we need to understand that. It's really powerful. So let's go and just few, and we're done. I'm not going to go. This is an on. So now this is for Gemini. And by the way, what's really, really interesting, Yud Zayin, it's actually made Gemini of this, and this is for the sign of Gemini. So if you have rising moon and Taurus or sun, this is another 70 names of God. It's actually good even to separately kind of to print in the app will allow you, and to have them in order for you to connect with your prayers. You do meditation, especially if your community do meditation. This is like endless. And I would love to hear feedback after later on, because it's all about practice. You can see results right away, and each of us will have a different connection. But as more of a practice, it's like you're going to gym. You cannot see results right away. With perseverance, with consistency, with discipline. Same with spirituality. People misunderstand what spirituality. Spirituality is the hardest but most liberating work we came to do. If you're not consistent, you're going to have different results. This is why, step by step. But even sometimes when we fall, it's a beautiful thing too. Without falling, we cannot appreciate again when we gain. So it's all good. Just to accept our process, really important. And last one,
I want to give you feedback that you shared this meditation, which I actually never knew what to do. So I'm glad that you shared, the visualizing the golden light and kind of synchronizing the brain, the right and the left, and then spiraling through different parts of the body. Because it's interesting for me when we were doing that, as you were guiding, I actually saw it's almost like double helix DNA that was moving through the body. And I don't know if it helps people to visualize it or if that's the right way, but that's what I was seeing.
Absolutely. You're actually right on. And what's beautiful about the meditation in general, when we meditate, we actually portal our body, our mind to place our essence. And every time, as more we practice meditation, is more clarity, and the more we're gonna remove more and more layers of who we are. Why? Because when we're quiet, this is the time when we can really receive message. When we in stillness, this is exactly when healing starts. It says in our books, what is the immortality? When we can do the stop agent of process. Agent process, aging, it's all illusion. We're not supposed to age. We're immortal. We need to know that. Our soul immortal, and even our body, the way how we take care of, the way how we abuse and not use properly, this is how we age. What really make us age? Heavy thoughts. What make us age? Jealousy. What make anything connect to darkness and not unity? What the cancer cells? We all have cancer cells, but they activated when there's disunity happening. This is why it's really important. Only with unity, only with, it's really, really important. And thank you so much, by the way, for sharing. It's really, really important to hear this from you, because you're one of the people. For me, I remember our first meeting, and when we start the conversation, you know, you're one of the people who I always admire, people who not just starting their own spiritual process, they felt urge to share. And this is what important, because each of us, we're all teachers and students, all of us. Whatever we right now receive information, if it's going to change something inside of us, something to elevate us more, this is the premium. This is the premium. Then you go interact with your family, with your friends. You're going to share a little bit, whatever they're ready to receive. We don't want to overwhelm anyone. And this is how this is constant process. It's really, really important. And so on, so on. So I wanted to show you, this is the atoms. Now, this is actually supposed to be, apparently it's dark, so you cannot see up there. One thing I want to mention as well, it's another beautiful thing. You know, I mentioned in when Moses was standing in front of the Red Sea, he was standing beside his brother named Aaron HaKohen, high priest. Who was Aaron HaKohen? You know, when the Holy Temple was created, there was one of the most important people was who served there is Kohanim. Kohen is one of the highest rank in the tribes of Israelite. They were healers. Just when they used to open their hands, you remember scene from Star Wars, or from when
Yes.
he So because you remember how he used to separate his, so this is what Kohanim used to do. When they used to send energy to people, this is how they used to separate the fingers. Now, Aaron Kohen, on one of his attributes when he was wearing, he used to wear the plata with the 12 stones. Each stone contains 6 names of the 72 names of God. Each stone was connected to the different tribe of Israelites, 12 tribes, 12 stones, and each stone, it's 72 names of God. What he used to do when people used to come, the way how he used to heal, he used to use the 72 names of God to heal people. Depends on and they were able to see, according to even the Aaron Kohen and all the high priests, they work with the stars. They work with the science of the stars. You understand? So it's really, really important. This is how it's all very, very connected and beautiful. So I think this is all what I really, there's so much I can say, but I kind of want to start. I hope I didn't overwhelm your audience, and just kind of, but this is information you can just, this is the simple I've so to say to bring to the plate.
Yeah, no, I think this is great. So would you say that, well, first of all, I like the meditation that you gave us. I think that it's a very practical tool connected to amplifying the vibrational frequencies, activating, I would say, codes that exist within us. And the other aspect I think that's also very practical that I didn't know is the 6 different names related to different zodiac, right? Or is it, am I correct? Is it zodiac?
Zodiac sign, yes, zodiac sign.
Different zodiac signs.
Yeah, and
so,
tribe. Yeah.
Right, and different tribes. So this is something also that people can look up, perhaps, right? That app, does it show you?
Yeah, so this app, the app not gonna show that, but because I already provide these tools, this is tools I'm taking from so many different books in order to put this together. But what's really beautiful about this app, for this each 72 names of God, it's very deep explanation. And I can share with you practically how I use. Sometimes I bought actually cards. It comes like a tarot cards. I don't practice tarot. It's something. I don't connect to that. But they come as a cards, but not tarot, just as a cards. So
they're like oracle, more like oracle, like daily message.
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely. And it's like a piece of art as well. So what I do in the morning, I shuffle them like the cards, and I usually pick up 3 for myself. I put them, and it's like a homework for me for today. Okay, today, Esther, you need to restrict what comes from your mouth when you go, and there's a special combination for it. So I'm going to show you, for example, here we have another very, very important against evil eye. Okay, so we have Aleph Lamed Dalet. For example, this one. This is against evil eye. For example, if you ever go to environment and know it's going to be a little bit unfriendly, or you have conflict with someone, you can learn, you will remember the Aleph Lamed Dalet, and what you need to do, you will send to this person to sweet the judgment. You know, when we have conflict, even with ourselves or with somebody, before we're going to think what I'm going to say, first send the light. Send it, because only with the light you create light. With additional darkness, you're only going to create darkness. This is why it says, buy yourself the friend. Buy yourself friend, it says. There's a reason for it. To go to conflict, it's always easy. And you know what? Healthy confrontation, it's whole other, it's really important. Some signs just born to learn how to do healthy confrontation. But what's really important when we use 70 names of God, each of them can provide you really practical tools. So because I've been practicing this for some time already, what I do every morning, I just take in those 3 cards for myself. And I said, okay, so today, this is what I'm going to do. Plus, another thing, we have 3 72 names, which is specifically another one. When I work on person chart, I'm combining the rising, moon, and sun, and I put them together. We have another ancient book. It's called Bahir, was written in 9th century. One of the first Kabbalistic books was given after Book of Formation. There's another secrets there, which is given to each person in order to specifically work on certain sign. And it's really work like magic. But this particular app, just to answer your question, it's really beautiful. There's a lot of explanation. So when I really recommend to spend some time on it to learn a little bit more. And God willing, even you guys will have a desire to even study Hebrew for that, because it's really, really good. Just at least, first of all, it's not another language, but it's not just another language. There's a lot of secret behind it. It's a life identity, really important. And just one more thing about meditation. Each of us can create so many different, but the reason I recommend to imagine golden energy, because the golden energy coming from superior, it's very, very healing. And it's really our minds recognize with the gold. It's the desire to receive, but as a creator, really important. And the green energy, which is coming from our beautiful Mother Earth, from the really, really deep inside, especially for us, we're all female, by the way, in front of Creator. Even though there's a male and female, but in front of Creator, we're all female on this dimension, in the sense of desire to receive. So we always can, and you always can focus on certain part of your body, which is need a little bit more attention. You always can direct the 72 names, especially Mem He Shin, right? It's over here, Mem He Shin. We always can direct to specific part in the body when we work on it. And we can really, you can, even when I work in, like any of you work on your work desk, you always can close your eyes for 5 minutes. 5 minutes will make a huge difference. Do meditation, just calm yourself down, and then again move on. That's it.
No, that's great. It's so interesting because you and I have never discussed this before, but I also use a lot of golden light when I connect.
No, I didn't know
that. Is the light I always see, so for me, it's just a natural quality to connect to that light. So it's fascinating that, is that something that's also written, or the Kabbalists write about, the golden light?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Golden light as well is actually it's connected to Angel Michael.
Mm.
As well, if one day we're going to do another, I have an amazing presentation about angels. We can learn, yes, we can learn about angels, how to use angels, what
Oh, that would be
angels,
great.
each set of angels, group of angels was given to us to each day of the week. We never leave our home without observing with our eyes, connecting with them, and they all connect to 72 names of God as well. It's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do that one.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much for the knowledge and wisdom. And gosh, you have so much to share.
It's mine to share.
I know, but it's so great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I send so much love, so much blessings to all of us. And let's finish our work. Let's bring the final redemption and the peace, everything what we came here in the first place. Amen.
Amen. Sounds wonderful. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.